All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a long. I don't. How do I call it? What do I call this, Lance? We had a big break,
A hiatus.
a hiatus. So we're back from that. Got a lot of big things going on in our lives. So we got cut off early in the last season. I had a beautiful daughter, and I have been working on that. So that's kind of why I would say we went on such a long hiatus. Anyway, we're back for the 2024-2025 season. How are you doing, Lance?
I am doing fantastic. Let's go. Ready for football. 1 week in, ready to
Good
dive
deal.
into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my first thoughts on, I guess, preseason week 1 and Thursday night football. It is currently Friday, September 20. No, sorry, September 12th. Is that the right? 13th.
13th.
It's the 13th, September 13th. So we had already seen the Bills and the Dolphins play. Anyway, Lance, what do you think about this first week? I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought that biggest takeaway from it was that the teams that had their starters play in the preseason came to play, and the teams that did not do that were a little behind. That's kind of what I was gathering from the whole first week of football.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I agree there were certain teams and certain starters, and it just turns out that those certain teams and starters are on my fantasy team, so I wasn't too happy uh to see them have a lackluster week 1. We can get more into who those people are, but yeah, I think it was pretty evident on who played their starters a little bit in the preseason. They came out a little more in sync week 1. Uh, some other storylines, I mean, we'll get to the Chiefs, and some of those heavy hitters came out swinging week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good already. Um, the kind of the other talking point we'll probably get into, the rookie quarterback started week 1. Um, not very overly impressive
Not great, dude.
starts. I didn't really watch Daniels with the Commanders, but
It wasn't great.
Bo Nix I obviously watched wasn't great. Caleb I thought didn't have a great game at all. I'm missing one. No, I'm not. Those are the only three that started this week.
Yeah, and I think it's
But
going to be pretty obvious. We're going to be picking on a lot of the stars of the teams right now. There's not much to go off of if you're just like kind of a role player. It is
Mhm.
what it is. So I would say let's just jump right into week 1, and we can discuss each game and each team. Lance, just so you're aware, I just typed into Google NFL and I'm on that page, so that's the order I'm going to go in. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So first off, we had our Thursday night hang the banner game here for the Chiefs and the Ravens. It was in Kansas City. They got to hang up their back-to-back champion flag or whatever. So
Mhm.
saw a bunch of that stuff at the beginning of the game. If I'm being honest with you, this is just my opinion, and I get it. If you're a Chiefs fan, whatever. But I'm just seeing way too much of the Chiefs on the TV and in the spotlight right now. It's just getting old for me. It's like the Patriots from, 2010. Just kind
Yep.
of getting old. Anyway, they played the Ravens at home and they won 27-20. Honestly, both teams to me felt like they were playing pretty good football. It seemed like they both kind of had, at least their offenses were. The defenses maybe not, but that's kind of what I gathered. The both teams kind of put together a pretty good game. Just turned out that the Ravens got to stay in bounds there, right? They had a chance to
Mhm.
tie it the last play of the game, and I had to be 1-2 millimeters into the back of the end zone. So I mean, to all in all, great game, fantastic game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I agree with you with this whole Chiefs thing. They're starting to get very old, and especially me. My team is in their division, so way too much Kansas City that I'm seeing, but what can you do? They got the best player in the world right now. And the part that the part that just sickens me is they went back to back, and last year, I mean, Chiefs fans, you can even agree with this. They were not good down the stretch, but they had that championship mentality and they turned it on when they needed to in the playoffs and got it done. And if I'm being completely honest, and this is probably the scariest thing of all going into this year, they didn't look like world beaters on Thursday night. They almost kind of seemed like, yeah, it's week one. We're gonna just kind of like get our footing into the season, and they still won.
Yep, it's scary. If I'm being real
And
with you, hold on a second. I want to comment on what you
yeah,
said about them not ending their season great and figuring it out in playoffs. Who did we see that out of for the last, I don't know, 15 years? I saw a lot
yeah,
of that
Tom
out of
Brady.
Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. I saw a lot of poor season play, and then once playoffs hits, oh, we remembered how to play football.
Yep, yep.
So
Especially
I'm,
that last year with Brady in New England for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, they're kind of just starting to get in the groove with their rookie Xavier Worthy. Already had a big impact. I think he only got one touchdown, but I mean, first his first touch in the NFL turns into a touchdown.
it
He's
was like
going to be an
30 yards, wasn't
unbelievable
it?
weapon. Yeah, yeah. They didn't even use Kelsey that much, so they didn't even
Yeah.
have to use all their weapons, and they were still able to pull this one off. And
Yep.
so Chiefs they're gonna be a problem
Yep.
for this year and many years to come.
Yep. And I think that I mean, you can take this, that everything we're saying about this week with a grain of salt because it is week one. We don't really know. Maybe both teams are kind of on the same level as far as how much they had their footings before the game started. So the Ravens could have been struggling, Chiefs could have been struggling. I don't know. It's so everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
Injuries happen too
yeah,
there, Lance. So
yeah,
let's move on.
yeah. That's
Let's
true.
talk about the Packers and the Eagles. And this one is actually a juicy one. We could talk a little longer on this one, I think.
Hmm.
So the Eagles end up winning this one. This was at home in Philadelphia, right?
It was technically a home game for Philly, but
Right.
it was played in Brazil.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
And the Eagles win this one 34-29. This is a Friday night game. I
Hmm.
watched the whole thing, honestly. Okay, so key things to take away from this game. Both teams looked relatively good. It scares me that Saquon is in Philly.
Yep.
Um, and then I would say the biggest thing to take away from this game is the Jordan Love injury.
Hmm.
I'm reading somewhere between 5 to 7 weeks. That's the
Yeah.
last I saw. Um,
But yet
that's
they haven't
tough.
ruled them out. They haven't ruled them out on Sunday, so we'll we'll see.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm I mean, I would as a Vikings fan, I'm happy that the Vikings are ahead of the Packers in their division. My issue with this is that Jordan Love got injured. I'd like to be competitive with Green Bay as a Vikings fan, but I do not want to be beating Green Bay. So I don't want the Vikings to do better than Green Bay when Green Bay has an obvious like asterisk on their team, right?
Yeah.
Because then it gets, like, oh well, if Jordan Love was in, I don't like that. So and obviously I don't ever want anyone to get hurt. So I mean, quick recovery and hopefully he comes back playing the same way because he did play very good. I will say there was a couple sloppy passes on both sides in this game. I did notice that, but
Hmm.
week one, what do you expect? So, I mean, I think that's about all I want to say about this game.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with your storylines. I think one of the biggest was Barkley joining the Eagles. That was obviously a very intriguing pickup for them over the offseason. Maybe, if not one of the most exciting additions that a team made over this offseason. And
Mhm.
yeah, he he came out of the gate like a workhorse. He had 3 touchdowns. I mean, I don't think you could have a better debut than that. one of the other storylines was the field was not great
No.
in Brazil. You especially saw that early. You talked about the sloppy passes. I think you could see from both quarterbacks, kind of in their dropbacks, couldn't really get their footing. But I don't know, like middle of the second quarter and the second half, both teams kind of both figured the field out.
Yep.
So then I think it turned into a much better game after that. But yeah, this was a very exciting game. This game delivered. Packers Eagles doesn't really get much better than that. I think Eagles are going to be, they showed they should be one of the contenders in the NFC. Of course, this is overreaction week one, so we have no idea yet, but Eagles look very good. Packers look very good when Jordan Love is healthy. And I think maybe the biggest news out of there is he's not lost for the season. So I
Correct.
think
Yep.
that's
Well,
4 or 5 weeks is a blessing.
oh yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at last year's Green Bay Packers and see that you can go 10 weeks with a pretty shitty record and make playoffs. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
this seventh seed in 18 weeks, it completely changes everything. You are
Yeah.
no longer out of it like after week three. So
Yep.
yeah, I think the
Yep.
Packers will they'll be fine.
They'll regain. I will say, as far as you, me, and Luke go, I think we all had them higher in the division, right? And sliding into playoffs pretty easily, right?
Hmm.
Maybe through wild card, but we thought it was an easy wild card. I will say this might make it a little tighter.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
We had the Panthers playing the Saints in New Orleans, correct?
Yep.
Um, I'll be real with you. I just think that this was a poorly constructed Panthers team. I don't think that any of the players are bad on the team. I just think that they do not have good chemistry playing together. And it showed. The Saints just whomped them 47-10. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't see much from this game. I think I saw a couple, yeah, 2 interceptions by Bryce Young. I just think that this is a poorly constructed team. I just feel like they're never going to play good together. They're never going to be. It doesn't seem like they're playing for anything. It just seems like they're out there playing just to play. I don't see them accomplishing anything this year. This might be a perfect 0-17 or whatever you want to call it. I don't see them playing good at all this year against anyone. They look bad. I don't care about preseason whether they played or not. I just think that team is not right for each other.
Yeah, this team's gonna struggle for a while. I don't think this is a 1 year fix. If I'm being completely honest, I'm glad I'm not the GM or coach for this team because I don't know how you fix this team. Uh, yeah, I've mentioned the interceptions by Bryce Young. Interception on his first play of the game. So that's really tough to see, especially using a first round pick on him. Panthers are just they're just not in a good spot right now. And I agree with you. I don't know how to fix this team. But on the flip side, I think this was a very good win for the Saints. They've really I mean, they have not, in my opinion, they have not been able to get over the Sean Payton and Drew Brees years. Derek Carr is kind of getting his second chance. I think this was a very big win for them, especially divisional win, and to just kind of just topple a much lesser opponent. I think this is a good step for the Saints team to keep moving forward. The
Yep.
Saints team might be an exciting team to watch. We'll see. Way too early, but
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Derek Carr 19 for 23, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now that there is 4 dropped, I'm assuming, passes
Yeah, probably.
That is the only blemish on this. I bet you his QBR was sky high, dude. Yeah, I mean impressive. And going back to what you said, they have to smoke teams like the Carolina Panthers to get respect back.
Mhm.
Back, I say, because they had it with Peyton and Breeze, and they did that. They smoked the Carolina Panthers. They had to do that to get some respect back, and I think they
Mhm.
got it. I think people kind of see that. Ooh, we got the Vikings and the Giants next. Now, as a Vikings fan, I am very happy with how everything went. Sam Darnold started like 12 for 12. Aaron Jones looked good. Uh, Justin Jefferson looked good. Sam Darnold looked good. They all looked pretty good. There was that defensive player who caught Van Ginkel. So yeah, I'm happy about the Vikings. They looked good, but I think it's pretty fair to say this felt like one of those teams that should have played in the preseason. They were not ready. The score is skewed. This Giants team is going to be a lot better later in the season, but they were not ready. At the beginning of this game until the end of it, they were not ready.
I don't really know what to say about this. I do know Daniel Jones did play in the preseason some. I don't think a lot. I think
Probably
he
like one
definitely
drive.
needed. Probably. I know he played at least one drive because he threw a pick six to Houston.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think this is just becoming the case that it is just time for the New York Giants to cut the cord and say Daniel Jones didn't work. We got to look for someone else. Kind of like what Denver finally did with Russell Wilson. Because, yeah, you invested a lot of money into Daniel Jones, but he is just showing year after year. I don't think that he's worth it. So, I think this is going to be a season that Giants are really going to struggle. I'd really hate for Dayball to lose his job, but he might lose his job. And Daniel Jones, I mean, good luck getting a backup job next year. That's kind of all I got to say.
Is the only
I think good on the Vikings to take advantage of this opportunity though. Obviously they're going to be in a very tough division this year. Probably the best in football. Most are saying that. I probably agree after I've seen week one. Um, Good for Darnold to kind of take advantage of this opportunity. I know a lot of Viking fans were already depressed and ready to throw in the season when JJ McCarthy got hurt in the preseason, but I don't know. I mean, Darnold might not have a terrible year, but
well, I was I
they're
was
probably going to be a middle of the pack team this year.
I'm pretty sure that Kevin O'Connell, like, this is what they would have done at the beginning of the season anyway. He was going to start
Well,
Sam
yeah,
Darnold. So
right.
why does it matter? Like, yeah, you want to get him experience, but he wasn't gonna
Mhm.
start. You get
Right.
him experience behind a quarterback that has done this and it can teach him some stuff.
Hey, I don't know that's your fan base. I don't know.
I don't get why. That's because everybody gets depressed about everything in my fan base. Let's hop on to the next one, and this is another one of those. This one is more dominant than anything. That shows me that you need to at least play one drive in the preseason. The Bengals and the Patriots. What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I mean, this one makes no sense. I think it's going to make even less sense at the end of the year.
Yep.
Just boils down to that the Bengals did not play preseason at all.
Yep.
It's uh
That is all it is.
yeah, I mean that offense needs chemistry. Burrow was just he just couldn't get guys open. I mean, running game didn't produce. Uh, just
Honestly, I don't really care about this game. It's just I think the only thing to take away from this game is the fact that everybody knows the Bengals should have won this game, and they didn't.
yep.
And there's one thing that you could obviously point at, and it's the preseason. I think I don't. I guess that's without any knowledge of any locker room, anything, but I just feel like that's the only conclusion you can come to, right? They should have won the game.
Yeah.
They're better than the
Yep.
Patriots.
Yep.
So,
This is the game that when I was talking about my fantasy team before,
yep.
Burrow is my quarterback and Chase is my wide receiver one. So
Mm,
this really sucked to see right out of the gate. Two that I'm kind of ready to go off this year and just having a week one like this. Very disappointing, but yeah, I mean, what can you do? Got to be more prepared to go into the season.
yep, I agree. All right, let's move on. Steelers and the Falcons. Honestly, this one just felt good for me. Kirko didn't get his win, but Justin Fields did. This is a lot of new quarterbacks for these teams. And I say a lot because there's three through the crew. Four, one's a rookie, right? Honestly, I don't really care about this. I think the Steelers I thought the Steelers were probably going to be pretty good this year. I think that this is just Justin Fields played over Russ. Did you watch any of this, Lance?
Oh, a little bit. Uh, to be honest, this was another disappointing game for me. I had higher expectations for the Falcons going into the year, and they just fell flat on their face. I mean, Steelers are going to have a good defense. We know that. As long as T.J. Watt's there, as long as Mike Tomlin's there, going to have a good defense.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, 6 field goals. No thanks. I don't think Fields played great. He played good enough to win. Uh, yeah, Russ was sidelined before the game with a calf injury. Still not gonna play this weekend, so it's gonna be Fields again. Um, I don't know. This is maybe too much to look into week one, but just very, very underwhelming debut for Kirko down in Atlanta. And that I don't know. I'm really starting to get pissed about this Steelers team just because they do this every year. They are
Yep.
not a good offensive team, and they just sneak out these wins like this. And I mean, what can you do though?
I gotta get him his winning season streak because he didn't. He's still got that, right?
Yeah,
He
he
has
still
not had a
has it. Yeah.
losing season at all, ever.
Just wait. Russell starting
Yeah,
game.
there
So
you go. Drag him down a little bit. All
I,
right,
I
I think
was
that's.
really I was really hoping that Russ was going to start this next week because they go down to Denver. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I guess we're just gonna have to face old Justin.
the Texans and the Colts. Honestly, I knew this was going to be a good game. I
Hmm.
knew it was going to be a good game. Both, first of all, we hadn't seen a lot from Richard. Is it Richardson?
Yep.
We hadn't seen a lot from him because he got injured early last year, but we saw enough to have very high hopes. And if I'm being real, I think he played pretty good. He's 9 for 19. That doesn't look right to me. Is that what he threw, or did
Yeah,
he?
I guess.
How many rushing yards did he have? Oh yeah, that's why we're seeing Lamar Jackson 2.0 out of Anthony Richardson, right? And then we knew CJ Stroud was good. Like I knew he was good, but boy, dude, he just consistency. I would have picked the Texans to win this game, but I knew it was going to be a good one, and it didn't disappoint. That was a good game. Fun to watch. These are two young teams. Been enjoying it. I like seeing the new faces, so keep them coming.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun rivalry going forward. I think Stroud and Richardson are gonna become two of the faces. I'd probably compare Richardson more to Cam Newton
Okay, yeah, I'm
than
with that.
maybe
Yep,
Lamar. Just he's a little bigger, but
yeah,
still kind of
yeah, got
uses
some
the
power.
legs
Yep,
uses the
I'm with
legs
that.
more than throwing. So I get that comparison. Um, yeah,
He did
I
throw for
agree. This was
212 yards though.
yeah, that's
Jesus.
true.
Okay.
But I 100% agree that Stroud he is fun to watch, and you talk about consistency. I think everyone was thinking maybe a sophomore slump was maybe coming, or maybe just he had such an unbelievable year for a rookie last year that people thought he had to fall off a little bit. But I mean, strong opening game. And I mean, another part of the conversation, two of the newcomers, Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, two new Texans, had a huge impact on the game.
Yep.
Just looking at Mixon's stats right now, 30 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown. Just maybe a missing piece to this Texans team last year was running the ball, and obviously get a very good back, and Joe Mixon still could run the ball hard, and yeah, they used it, and yeah, very good showing out of the two newcomers, and I think this Texans team is going to be a wagon this year.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I think I'm getting on it 100%. I fully support both of these teams making playoffs. I think they're both very good teams.
Yep. As
So,
long as Richardson can stay healthy for the Colts.
yep,
And
exactly.
good showing because I think we saw him in 4 or 5 games last year, and he had to exit early from each of them because of an injury. So
Right.
good that he didn't get hurt week one. So
Yep, I'm with it. All right. Let's move over to the Cardinals and the Bills. Lance, you can take this one first.
keep track of this one a little bit. Cardinals had an early lead. Bills ended up coming back and winning this one 34-28. Uh, I'm such a Josh Allen homer that I love watching him. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in this league. So many question marks coming into the year for the Bills. New wide receiver crew, pretty much dumped their whole defensive secondary. But this Bills team, they started off hot. I mean, I talked about them having to come back, came back strong, starting to use James Cook a lot more. I think that's going to be a huge key for this year. Not make Josh Allen do everything. That'll definitely. I mean, it'll keep him healthy more than anything the whole year. So,
Mhm.
very good showing by the Bills. Cardinals, honestly, good to see from them showing some fight too. This was a team last year that to start the year we saw that they really surprised and kind of like took it to teams, made it close games, but just couldn't get the wins. Kind of a similar start, but this time with Kyler Murray coming back, starting week one. Uh, I mean, Cardinals could maybe put together a season, but still week one. But I don't know. I think pretty fun game to start out with week one. One other note on this game, we had the first kickoff return for a touchdown with the new kickoff rules, and that was by the Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely, dude. It was sweet too. What was it, like 98 yards? 97?
Yeah,
It
something
was
like
like
that.
back there too. So let's talk about that for a little bit. We haven't discussed that yet. This rule, what do you think of it? I don't know what to think about it. I think there's like a
I
weird strategy in it where you could like make it work if you're the kicking team. You could do some kind of weird stuff.
right.
I don't know. I feel like we haven't seen it all yet. We haven't seen how people are
No,
going to manipulate it. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
It could be
And I mean,
pretty good, dude.
there's so many teams that are just saying screw it. We're just going to kick it through the end zone still.
Yep,
I think
exactly.
yeah, I think 100% teams do not know how to approach this yet.
And I don't understand also, if you're going to change that, shouldn't you have to change the punt thing too?
No, because I mean, it's kind of the same thing because basically what they wanted to do. for the kickoff was eliminate the kicking team having a running start and bashing into each other. So
Yeah.
kind of on the punt, it's kind of the same thing as it is now because both teams are starting on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
You're
but
basically
they get to
you're
move when the
basically
ball gets kicked
making
though. So
yeah towards the kick returner, but
right, so
I don't
like
know.
that's what they were trying to that's what they eliminated with this new kickoff, right? Was they can't move until he catches the ball, right? Well,
Right.
that's not how punts are. You can move while it's in the air.
Yeah, right. But I think it's more the blockers and
Oh,
the kicking team that's not the kicker, those players running into each other.
oh, okay.
I think it
That
was
makes sense.
injuries in those players that is what they wanted to try to
Oh,
eliminate,
not
but
not just the okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
it was more
Okay.
taking away from those collisions more than the one catching the ball.
Yep, that makes sense.
Was kind
Okay.
of my understanding. Yeah.
I think that the Bills are going to be a tough team this year. I didn't actually watch this game, but I did watch the one on Thursday, and so I'm not going to say much about them. This Cardinals team has just been kind of bottom mid maybe for a while now, and I think that that's just where they're going to sit.
Mhm.
Um, Bills, I think, are going to be awfully hard to beat. That's all I'll say about that one. Let's move on to the Titans and the Bears. And boy, was this a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Lance, did you believe that could have happened at halftime?
No, no, and honestly kind of pissed me off a little bit, if
Dude,
I'm
I'll be
being
honest with you.
completely honest.
I'm like
I
irritated
was
by it.
rude. Yeah.
I'm irritated by it because not okay, Bears are in their division with the Vikings. I get that. Whatever. But like I'm irritated with it because Bears fans are like, "Oh my god, Caleb's it. He's the reason we won. He's the missing piece. He didn't
Yep,
do
exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
You got gifts
That was
from Will, what's his name, Levis,
Levis. Yep.
in two interceptions. That's why you won. You did it. He had nothing to do with it. Literally,
Yeah.
probably almost nothing to do with it. Okay, go ahead, Lance. Sorry.
Yeah. I was pretty tickled when I saw 17-0 Titans lead. But yeah, then just seeing highlight after
Saturday.
highlight of the Bears coming back, and then the icing on top of the cake is the the first headline I see after the game is Caleb, comma Bears rally for the win, and it's like Caleb didn't do anything to
Anything.
rally. It was a blocked punt and a pick six that won the game.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I might be like, this might become a personal vendetta against Caleb that starting already, but
Yep. I think I'm with it, dude. I think I might be on your team here. I just
so
we'll see
ah,
what happens with the rest of the season, but that was not his win to claim. That was you
you
said it, defense and special teams. Honestly, the Titans I think caught him off guard right at the beginning. Tony Pollard
yeah.
played pretty good. But I don't know. They just fell apart in the second half and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Good first half, but
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
let's jump to the Jags and the Dolphins. If I recall correctly, this is the same kind of deal. Jags were up 17-0. Was that right?
Yep. Yep.
And came back, or the Dolphins came back and won 20-17. Um,
Mhm.
Notable thing about this game, a couple hours before it, Tyreek Hill got put in handcuffs.
Yep. Yep. Whole
So,
situation before the game.
so that's all I've been hearing about.
Yeah.
The only notable thing in that game to me. I expected the Dolphins to play or to win. I didn't maybe think that they're going to win in the way that they did because they came out
Mhm.
sloppy in the first half. But I also knew that Jacksonville is able to compete. So I think that the outcome of this game lines up with how I feel about these teams pretty good without the story of the game being, you know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
Healthy Tua plays fantastic. Trevor Lawrence plays, you know, Trevor Lawrence. He plays about how he plays. Tyreek Hill, obviously, he's going to do good.
Hmm.
So go ahead, Lance.
Yeah. Uh, I agree with you. Probably the outcome I expected. I probably thought a few more points. 20-17 seemed really low. If I was a betting man, I probably would have bet the over on this one. But yeah, Jaguars coming out hot, 17-0, like you said, and then Dolphins bouncing back. Long touchdown to Tyreek. Definitely helped that out. Yeah, Dolphins started off a lot slower than I was expecting, and I don't know if that was the team that they rested most of preseason, so came off a little flat, but did enough to get the win in the end. Um, Obviously, we'll get to what happened last night in the Thursday night game between the Bills and the Dolphins, but Jaguars, I still think that they could be a team that'll be competing in the AFC South at the end of the year.
Yep, I agree, dude. I think, like I said, they're good. They're just
Yeah,
they're like upper mid level of the league. They're
yeah,
like playing
yeah.
for wild card spot or scrape in by a game through their division. You know,
Right.
they're competitive. So, all right, let's jump to the Broncos and the Seahawks. Lance, you can have the full thing there. I didn't get to watch this game. Peacock was not regionalized to the Seattle area, so I was not able to watch this game. Go ahead, Lance.
All right. Broncos Seahawks. Honestly, very sloppy game. I think both teams had their struggles early. Uh, First drive for Seattle ended in a pick from Geno Smith. I think even like second play of the game or second or third. So Broncos get a quick field goal off of that. Later in the first half, Bo Nix throws a pretty bad interception at the goal line, but the Denver's defense is able to bail him out, gets a safety. Kind of one of the weird storylines. I think it was like the first game in a long time where two safeties were recorded in the first half, and that was from the Broncos defense. But yeah, storyline too. I really wish that Bo's debut went a little bit better for the Broncos, but he really showed that he was a rookie in this game. Just not very good throws, not on the same page as his receivers. Two bad interceptions, and just I don't know. Seattle's a really tough place to play when you're a rookie quarterback. Going to be one of the loudest stadiums in the league, especially when you're the away team. So just kind of the moment was a little too bright for him, but I don't know. It's week one. I'll be excited to see what how Bo bounces back after this. But has to get it. The play has to get better. It does. So kind of a disappointing opening for the Broncos. They made it closer than it could have been. Bo did have a scramble touchdown at the end of the game, so kind of a nice highlight for that. Seattle, I mean, they put together good drives. They uh ran behind Kenneth Walker. I think uh I mean, Phil, you know my love for the Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
I like them so much.
Mhm.
But uh
Yeah.
I mean I do have to admit, Kenneth Walker, the third running back for Seattle. I think he's gonna be one of the special players in this league. Very good running back.
Yep.
Uh kind of, if I'm being completely honest, kind of praying for Gino's downfall. 1 year was enough for me for him to kind of spout off to the whole league. But I don't know, this Seattle team, they could maybe make a run. They've shown in the past that they can make runs and could fight for that wild card spot. But yeah, kind of a sloppy opener for both teams, if I'm being honest on this one.
Yep. I I'm seeing that when I'm looking at stats. You're right. Kenneth Walker, 20 carries, 103 yards, touchdown. Something I am noticing is uh I'm only seeing 3 catches from DK Metcalf. So what's that?
Oh yeah, yeah, because Pat Surtain locked his ass down.
Really?
I'll tell you what, Pat Surtain, he's gonna. I mean, he might be the next coming of Champ Bailey. He's gonna Revis Island. Those people that are Richard Sherman, if you will, uh, fitting for Seattle. But
Well,
yeah,
dude,
Pat Surtain is. Yeah, he might be a problem for that wide receiver one in the weeks to come.
he's a scrawny looking dude. Anyway, yeah, okay. You say everything you want to about that game, Lance? That's your game.
Yeah. Yep, I think
All
I
right.
did.
Let's jump on to the Raiders and the Chargers. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really care. Chargers get the win 22-10. Um, this should happen, but who knows with the Chargers ever. So
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say. I can see the Chargers pushing for a wild card spot again. I don't think that the Raiders are going to be anything this year. I do like this Minshew guy, um, but I just don't. This team just feels. It feels like another one of those teams that just doesn't seem like they don't know how to play together. I don't think any of them are terrible. Well, there's some that are terrible, I think, but you know what I'm saying, dude. It's like
Yeah.
this just feels like another team that's like incomplete or not on the same page. And the Chargers are like just so talented and also not on the same page, but they can win the games like this. So this doesn't shock me. That's about where I'm at with this one.
Yeah, Harbaugh's debut coaching the Chargers.
Oh, I forgot,
On
dude. I can't believe I forgot about that.
J.K. Dobbins, I see 35 yards rushing. I mean, if you watch Michigan at all last year, Blake Corum ran wild all year. So that's kind of Harbaugh football, is what I'm gathering. Run the football, be physical. Uh, I don't know, a little bit more out of the Chargers than I was expecting. I didn't really think they were going to amount to much this year, but playing a little bit better than I expected. I thought this game was going to be a little bit closer. On the Raiders side, I I mean, you can't hate Gardner Minshew. He has so much moxie and he's just a fan favorite, but I just don't know if he's a starting quarterback in the league.
I'd agree with that.
I think he really overachieved with Colts last year. Almost got him in that wild card spots, and I think the Raiders were just hoping that that would happen again. But I I think the Raiders are just, I don't know. It's kind of a let's see what we have this year kind of a year for the Raiders.
Yep. I'm with that, dude. That makes sense. All right. Let's jump to the Cowboys and the Browns. And I think we got to talk. There's a couple points on this game as well. I think we need to talk about Dak Prescott getting a new contract, and he is currently the highest paid player right?
Yep.
Okay. And then I think we need to talk about Deshaun Watson looking awful.
Poetic justice?
Yeah, a little bit, I think. I don't know. So anyway, the Cowboys win this game 33-17. Doesn't surprise me. This is typical. I still don't know what to think about this Cowboys team yet. I know everybody's high on them, but everybody's high on them every year, and then nothing comes of it. So I don't want to go there yet. On the other hand, I was more high on the Browns than what I saw. That was terrible. So I don't know. I was expecting more out of the Browns, and Dallas did what I expected them to do. I could have seen this game at like 33-28, or with 2 less interceptions and better players. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree in just a little bit of a fashion. I didn't expect this, just in the fact that the Cowboys absolutely dominated this game. And why that surprised me is what happened to the Browns defense. I mean,
Yep.
this was a team last year that we were talking about week 5 and 6 that they were going to have a historic defensive year. And this was this score was even a lot closer than it should have been.
Right.
I mean, it was 30-3 for a long time. And the Browns just got kind of 2 touchdowns close to the end of the game. One was in the third, I guess, but
Yep.
I mean, it 33-17, and it was a lot closer than it should have been. Before this game, I maybe would have thought like 23-17, but it being a lot closer through the whole game. This one definitely surprised me. I mean, Cowboys, it appears that they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to probably have a really good regular season again and then fall flat in the playoffs like they do every year. But I guess we'll see if something happens with McCarthy and Dak giving it one more round. But yeah, I guess typical hot start for the Cowboys. That's kind of been them the past few years. Started off really hot. More surprised on the Brown side. Surprised that they gave up so many points, and yeah, and then that Browns offense just, God, they just could not get anything going. And I mean, it might be looking that there's another quarterback's career that goes down in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wouldn't bug me if his went down on,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, and now we're gonna transition to a quarterback that is probably my absolute favorite player in the entire league. Yours is probably Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were
Probably.
excluding every bias because of your team.
Right. Well, it'd be him or Burrow,
All right. Oh, that's right. You do like Burrow.
but
Okay.
I do like Burrow.
My guy, Baker Mayfield. Throwing dimes. I thought, dude, 24 for 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's probably player of the week, right? We got to put him as player of the week. It's either him or Saquon.
Yeah. Right.
I think that's what we should do that. We should pick a player of the week. We should do a player of the week. Every week needs a player of the week.
Yeah, Baker, I mean, with that performance, I'd have no problem putting him in.
Player of the week, Baker Mayfield, leads the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a 37-20 win over the Washington Commanders. What I will say is, I think based on the stats I'm seeing, Jaden Daniels didn't do terrible, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think I'm okay with how he played. He ran for he ran the ball a lot, but you know,
Mhm.
that's kind of what they wanted him for, right?
Yeah, kind of that dual threat. I
Yep.
mean,
So I'm okay with this. I'm
yeah.
okay with his performance. I just think that if I'm being entirely honest, I'm thinking that the Bucks are going to be pretty good this year. So, and this is going to tank, and he's going to throw 3 picks next week, probably because I said that. But that's my opinion. I think that if Baker keeps playing, if he keeps playing like this, or if he plays with any consistency at all, I think that they're going to be prob. They'll probably make playoffs, no problem. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think who's their division, Lance. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, we talked about one of them earlier. I think them and the Saints. It'll be a true battle this year
Okay, yep,
between
and I'm
those
with that.
two.
I'm still with that, but with 3 wild card positions, I'm pretty
Yeah.
confident that both teams make playoffs. So whatever that means, I think so. They got a lot of good players on this Tampa Bay team still. So I say still because
Yeah.
they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. So anyway, so I don't actually think they kept. How many players did they actually keep from that? Mike Evans, he's
I
been
think they
there
still
day
have. I
one.
think they still have quite a bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just gonna say the ageless wonder, Mike Evans.
dude, stud.
I mean, probably, honestly, probably one of the most underrated players ever. I mean, this guy, dude, he produces year after year, and he had years with Jameis Winston. I
Mhm.
mean, those years, and he still produced. And then, thank God, Brady comes and gets him a Super Bowl.
For real.
And then now, and then still doing it with Baker.
Yep. Something that's super noticeable about this game is if you go and look at like the player stats, Baker was just like distributing. He didn't. I mean, he didn't care who he's throwing the ball to. It looks like there's a lot of players that have, you know, he has one receiver that he targeted one time that is under 10 yards. I don't know. He's gonna be good. He always has been good. That's my guy, dude. Baker did a little better than your guy Joe Burrow, but
Yeah, yeah,
that's all right. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Are we done with that one?
yeah, yep. I think
Rams,
so.
Rams, Lions, also a hell of a game.
Yeah,
This one was on Sunday night, and it went into overtime, and the Lions pull it off at the end, 26-20. Very, very good game. Fun to watch. Both teams were ready to play.
Stafford's return to Detroit again.
Yep. Both teams were ready to play. Both teams played very entertaining football. I enjoyed this game thoroughly. Um, I don't think I have much to say past that. There's there's nothing really special about it. It was just a really good game of football to me. So, all you, Lance.
Good. All right. Uh, Kind of took in some comeback heroics by Stafford and the Rams to bring this one back. Lions had a pretty decent lead on them throughout most of the game. Um, and then the Lions got it to overtime, and then they just took care of business. Just pounded David Montgomery down the throats of the Rams defense, and Rams could not do anything to stop him. I don't even know if Goff even threw a pass in overtime. I probably have to go back and fact check that, but they pretty much just ran David Montgomery down the middle and it just kept working, so the Lions just kept doing it. But yeah, very, very entertaining game. I think we're going to be watching these two in the playoff. Uh, Lions are, for good reason, the favorites to win the North this year.
Yep.
I had picked the Packers over them in my own personal projections. I thought the Packers were going to overthrow the Lions for that top spot in the North, but I don't know. Good start for both teams. Lions look good, Rams look good, and yeah,
Yeah. All right. Let's jump to the Jets and the 49ers. This was a Monday night game. 49ers win this one 32-19. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that guy anymore. He did
yeah.
fine. I just don't think he's
He
that guy
really
anymore.
he really showed his age for me.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Um,
Um, I mean,
I mean, I
obviously, like,
mean, too. He had that Achilles injury probably in the back of his head the whole game. Didn't want to rupture that again. But yeah, I mean, the Niners reminded us why they're the 49ers. They just have playmakers on both sides of the ball, all levels of the ball, just stud
yeah,
after stud
without,
without McCaffrey.
yeah, something to say
Backup
about
running
that.
back, 147 yards and one touchdown.
Yep,
Just,
pounding the ball, dude.
yep.
I like how they have a 0 for 0 stat on the passing for Debo.
Jeez.
All right. I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
think go ahead, keep going if you got more. I don't know
um,
much past this.
I was just gonna say that I just think Niners are gonna have kind of the same kind of year. They're gonna be one of those top teams in the NFC again. Jets, I mean, it was a really underwhelming performance by them. I thought they were gonna come out a little bit better, but it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they'll kind of fight for one of those wild card spots. I mean, there have been years that Rodgers has had to tell his fans to relax, and then he has an MVP type season. So, I mean, who knows what this Jets team is going to look like in a few weeks? But
Right.
I don't know. I think just dominant performance by the Niners, reminding us why they're the Niners.
Yep, I'm with that. 100%. Okay. So that was week 1. We do have a Thursday night game that we're going to go over from week 2. We're just going to do it right away if that's okay with you, Lance.
Yep.
The Bills and the Dolphins, and boy, does this one have a lot of juicy key points to talk about. Ultimately, the Bills get the job done, 31-10. Lance, tell them how it happened.
Yeah. I guess kind of one of the top storylines. Tua struggled early, threw a lot of interceptions, 2 picks in the first quarter. I think they said that's the first time that has happened in his professional career,
Yep.
or maybe since his first season, or
The
it
first
hasn't
one,
happened much.
the first one was hardly his fault. It was a weird deflection. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like, yeah, obviously it goes on his stats and it's an interception and it happened, but it's hard to blame him for that one. He put that
right.
pretty close to where it was supposed to be. A lot of quarterbacks
Mhm,
don't hit that. I think it's just how aggressive he is as a quarterback.
mhm.
Things like that can happen. The ball just gets hucked as fast as he can throw it, and guy doesn't have his
Yeah,
head turned around. So, I mean, it happens.
yeah.
Sorry.
But nope, you're good. But Bills, I mean, they took care of the ball. I think it was a statement win for them to kind of tell everyone like, oh, you're picking the Dolphins and the Jets to win this division. Well, guess what? It's still our division, it's still our crown that we're defending. I think Bills are after this one. I Dev for sure like can feel that they're going to have a pretty good season, and I think they are going to get that division crown one more time. Um, yeah, ran the ball really good. James Cook had a hell of a game, 3 touchdowns. Devon Achan on the Dolphin side had a really good game. Kind of both teams, especially with the interceptions from Tua, it kind of both it felt like both teams were really trying to run the ball and to get that running game going.
Yep.
Uh, and then of course the kind of the sad note at the end of the game. Tua goes down with another concussion, and yeah, just really sad to think about because there's obviously going to be a lot of conversations if this is kind of the end for Tua.
Dude,
But kind
there's
of a
other coaches in the NFL currently calling him out saying to stop playing.
yeah, yeah, just because
He,
they're all these concussions they're scary for
you're
him.
gonna get brain damage, dude. I'm kind of with it,
Yeah,
dude. It's not worth it. You made your money. Get out. Everybody knows
yep,
you're good. No one's gonna complain if you leave because of that. Who?
yep.
The guy for the Colts. What was his name?
Oh,
He.
Luck,
Yeah,
Andrew
he
Luck.
took off
Yeah,
after like 3 seasons, dude.
yeah, yeah,
He was like, "Nah, it's not worth it." Literally isn't. I bet you he's vibing right now.
yeah, yeah. So definitely don't want the game to end on that, but
No.
unfortunately, that is the storyline after the game. Is if Tua's ever gonna play it down again. But other than that, pretty dominant win for the Bills, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it was headed in that
they're
direction.
flexing. Yeah,
It was heading that direction regardless of who was playing quarterback for the Dolphins. I don't know what was going on with them, but they're just not on the same page for that game.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right. Sweet. Unless you got anything else to say, we can hop into our picks.
No, I think that's all I gotta say. So,
All right. Let's jump right in. Lance, I'll call out the game and then I'll call out who I think's gonna get it, and then you're gonna keep track of our picks, okay?
yep.
And then you can go right after me. All right. First Sunday game. 49ers and Vikings. Now, see, I don't know what to do here because we're not really like talking about our own personal team. I talked about my own personal team plenty, but Lance, do we got to pick our teams right away or no?
You don't have to. I think that was Luke's rule. I didn't want to last year.
Oh, that's right. I'll go with the 49ers.
Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm going to.
Okay. It's safe. If the Vikings win, I'm happy. And if the Niners win, then they get the point. Next game, Seahawks Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Hawks on this one. Just I don't know what to think about the Patriots, but I'm gonna go Hawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seahawks too. I think maybe a little caught off guard from Denver last week. Thought they were gonna walk it, and that's just why they struggled. I don't really think this Patriots are gonna amount to much this year. So I'm also gonna go Seahawks.
Giants Commanders. Oh, I know that the Giants looked awful. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I like that. What's his name? Jaden.
Daniels.
Yeah, I like him. I think he did
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm gonna go Commanders too. I cannot pick the Giants right now. Just all of like the billboard material on them right now, and then just falling flat against the Vikings. Can't pick them.
Yep. Chargers, Panthers. I gotta go with the Chargers. This Panthers team, I really don't think is gonna win a game.
All right. Next, Chargers.
Oh, you pick Chargers?
Yeah.
Okay. Saints, Cowboys. I think that the Cowboys are gonna win this, but I think it will be close.
You know, we gotta disagree on some of these, right?
Yeah, we have to. We will at some point. There's no way we won't. We don't know anything about the season yet. I feel like we
Yeah.
are on the same
Well,
page right now. So
this is where I'm going. All right. I think kind of something similar to last year, the Cowboys, they like flattened the Giants in week one. I don't think they play the Cardinals till week three, maybe, but the Cardinals really surprised them, and the Cowboys thought they were hot shit, and both sides of the ball were vibing. I think the Saints are gonna catch them on week two this time. I think they're gonna ride high on their win, feel the underdog mentality, and win this game that they maybe shouldn't. So
okay.
I'm gonna pick the Saints.
All right. All right. Okay, let's jump to the Colts and the Packers. I gotta go with the Colts on this one. Without Jordan Love, I can't imagine that the Packers will be able to accomplish much, to be honest. So
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. No Jordan Love. I mean, the whole game they're gonna try to figure out what they can do, and that's just Colts are too good of a team to have that kind of a game. So I'm gonna pick the Colts too.
yep. All right, the Jags and the Browns. Now, this is me banking on the Browns defense to figure it out because I don't know. I'm gonna go Browns. I don't think that they're gonna. I think they're gonna come back and win something like this, and then they're gonna feel like they're hot shit, and then lose the rest of their games. I feel like they gotta win. This is I'm doing the same thing that you're doing with the Saints and the Cowboys, just on a lower scale.
I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. They're doing a little special. They're naming the stadium after him, and I think he's gonna show them why. I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna have a big game. I'm going Jaguars.
All right, and we got the Jets and the Titans. Poofta. Uh, Now I saw a lot of Aaron Rodgers age there and whatnot, and I kind of think I agree with you having that in the back of his mind. He's kind of getting acclimated to playing again. Um, so I assume there's going to be improvement. And I think that just the game knowledge and the experience from the Jets quarterback and their talent from their young guys is going to outweigh this young Titans team without Derrick Henry.
So you're going Jets.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna agree with you. Uh, I think they figured out a lot of who they were last game. I mean, Niners are a tough one for anyone to start the season on. I think Jets are gonna start to get some things figured out. Titans just aren't there yet. Young team, like you mentioned. I'm gonna go the Jets too. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think it's gonna be close, but I think Jets are gonna take it.
Okay. Now we got the Bucks and the Lions. This is going to be a fantastic game. And I'm going to go Bucks. I assume you're going to do Lions, but I'm going to go Bucks. Got to go with my reigning player of the week, Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Okay. I respect the pick. I am gonna go Lions, but I respect the pick. I do think Baker is gonna he's not gonna let him win easy.
But yeah, yep. I think he's gonna
I think
sneak it.
Bucks are gonna put up a fight.
Yep. Okay. Raiders and Ravens. I think this is a Ravens win, easy.
Hmm. Yep,
And then,
I'd
oh, go
agree.
ahead. And then we have the Rams and the Cardinals, and I also think that this is an easy win for the Rams.
I agree with you. I'm gonna go Rams as well.
And then we have the Bengals and the Chiefs, and this one's weird. I will say this one's a little weird because there's some juice in that. You know what I mean? That's been stirring up for a while, right?
Hmm.
I got to go with the Chiefs, but I think that this is gonna be a surprising game for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, always a good game when these two get together. I would even say even last year when Burrow was hurt, Bengals put up a fight. Um, I, I'm gonna go with my boy Burrow. I think Bengals are gonna be really ticked off about what happened last week. Like they even need any more juice to go up against Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't know if maybe the Chiefs are kind of still just riding on their Super Bowl back to back, going for three. But I think Bengals are going to catch them on this one.
Okay. All right. Now we have the Steelers and the Broncos. I gotta go with the Steelers. I'm sorry, Lance. I just don't know. I did this. The lack of experience is a tough one for the Broncos right now. In this, I feel this is closer than. I don't know though, dude. Maybe I'm changing my mind. I gotta go with the Steelers. I'll go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the not it's because I'm a homer, but not completely because I'm a homer. I'm going to go with my Broncos.
Okay.
I I don't I just don't think that the Steelers offense is going to do that great.
Mm,
And I think Bo Nix is going to find a way to win in front of the home crowd.
yep. Okay. I'm with that. This is a lot different than like the Vikings and the 49ers.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is much
that's
tighter
this
regardless of.
this this could be a winnable game. It's going to be tough, but
Yep. They're all tough, right?
well,
The
yeah.
Bears and the Texans, and I am not sorry, Bears fans. The Texans are gonna smoke you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly don't think this game is going to be close. Not sorry at all, Bears fans. I think Texans are going to stomp them too.
hmm And then we have our Monday night game, the Falcons and the Eagles, and I'll be just Saquon Barkley did it in New York, and then he did it in his first game against the Eagles, or sorry, against the who did they play last week? Against
Packers.
the Packers. I just don't until he shows me that he's not him. I got to go with the Eagles. They're gonna win if he plays like that.
Yeah, like I needed even more reasons to pick the Eagles. I really liked what they showed last week in Brazil. Played tough, ran the heck out of Barkley. I think he's going to have a fantastic year there. And on the other side, the Falcons did not look good at all in their in week
Right. I
one.
mean, yep.
So yeah, I think this is a an Eagles pick.
Good deal. All right, those are our picks. Okay, now let's just talk for a second here, Lance.
Okay.
What did you think about the Giants uniforms? I kind of liked them.
Really? Ugh,
Did you not
I
like
didn't
them?
like them at all.
Oh,
No.
really? Oh,
No.
dude. I kind of liked the like beige pants, the khaki or whatever you want to call it. Kind
Yeah.
of vibed with them. They looked like a hockey team. Okay, next question. I love the like super throwback Jets logo. That should just still be a logo. I think it looks dope.
Well, I think that's their uniform for the year. So that's
Is it
sticking.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, good deal, dude. That should
That's
just be
their
their
that's their
logo, maybe.
new colors and logo.
Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
love the green. Oh, they look so good.
It'll be
Um,
it'll be interesting. I didn't even realize that they kind of switched, but they it's technically a throwback. They're gonna throw it back to one of the games they're gonna be wearing the uniforms like the Mark Sanchez AFC Championship
yep.
uniforms.
Oh my
And I was
God,
kind of
yeah.
like, I'm kind of here for it.
Yep, absolutely. Is there anything else about this week that we need to discuss? I think we kind of hit everything.
Well, I I, I suppose you did miss it because you didn't get to see much of the game. The Seahawks were wearing their throwbacks
Oh, were they?
last Sunday.
Oh, I bet they
Yeah.
look dope, dude. I gotta look up a picture
Did-
quick. I love their throwback stuff. I have a Hawks cap. That's their throwback logo.
Mm.
You don't like that, I know. But yeah, dude, those are good. Oh, that blue is super nice. God, that looks good. Anyway, all right. So that is our podcast for week 1 in football of this season. I think we did pretty good, Lance. You want to send them off with something? I don't care what it is. You can do something new this season.
Mm.
You go ahead and
Yeah,
send them.
I might have to think about that. But until now, missed you guys. Hope you enjoyed the podcast and hope you stick with us for the rest of the year.
Hell yeah, dude. Have a good one, guys.